Hello everyone, welcome back to the Jikook Moments channel. Today is not an ordinary day. This is the day we've all been waiting for. After months filled with longing and hope, Jimin and Jungkook, two hearts deeply connected, have finally returned from their military service. And it didn't take long, they greeted us right away. Not with fancy words, but with their sincere presence. A live broadcast that quietly turned into one of the most honest, warmest, and perhaps most intimate moments they've ever shared. Get ready, because what they revealed today will make you smile, laugh, and maybe even shed a tear. Today is no ordinary day. It's a moment that will forever be etched in the memories of fans. After months of fulfilling their duties as citizens, Jimin and Jungkook have officially completed their military service. That means they're back, ready once again to share their time, energy, and love with those who have waited patiently and lovingly, ARMY. Just hours after being discharged, they immediately reconnected with their fans. Without prior notice, they went live. And though many expected only a short greeting, what they gave was so much more. A portrait of intimacy, love, and genuine closeness between them and with ARMY. From the very first second of the broadcast, it was clear they were a little nervous. It's not easy to return in front of a camera after being away from the stage, the routines, and social media for so long. But it was exactly that nervousness that made them seem even more sincere and real. Jimin, as usual, was the first to speak. With a calm tone and warm delivery, he said, "The first thing I want to say is, thank you for waiting." That simple sentence felt incredibly powerful. Behind it were months of training, extreme weather, strict discipline, and unspoken longing. Yet what mattered most to them was saying thank you. During the broadcast, they shared small details that made the day feel so real, like the release ceremony earlier that morning, where they were shaking with nerves, even forgetting what they said in front of the media cameras. Among those stories were funny and adorable anecdotes. They woke up at 5 a.m. to go running together. Because they wanted to look fresh when they met ARMY. But then they laughed, realizing the truth. Maybe it's not about the puffy face, maybe we just have to get over the awkwardness. This spontaneous moment showed how well they understand each other, reading one another without words. Throughout the stream, their jokes, silences, and laughter conveyed the same message. Their bond is as strong as ever. It's not just about spending time together, but about trust, respect, and deep understanding. They finished each other's sentences, continued without hesitation, as if their minds and hearts were on the same wavelength. A relationship like that isn't built overnight. It grows from years of shared experiences, joys and struggles that may not be fully understood by others, but are deeply felt when you see them together. For many fans, such a strong connection is a reminder that even during major life changes like military service, true bonds don't fade, they can be strengthened. Jimin and Jungkook didn't talk much about their future plans. For them, this live was a time to say hello, to show that while much has changed, their essence remains the same. One of the most touching parts was when Jungkook talked about their time in the military. He described Jimin as a secret letter, someone whose strength is hidden but remarkable. He said, "There's nothing Jimin can't do." That sentence reflected deep admiration and pride. On the other hand, Jimin was open about the first 5 weeks of basic training, which were especially hard for him. He had trouble sleeping, eating, and adjusting. But during that time, Jungkook's support meant everything. Jungkook comforted him with simple words. "Today is over. 2 days have passed. Time goes by fast, right?" That light sentence became a source of strength in an extremely difficult time. When they were transferred to a new base, their roles reversed. Now it was Jungkook's turn to adjust. Jimin took the role of the supporter, offering the same encouragement. He said, "Another day has passed," reminding him that every day gone by was a small victory. This role reversal showed the depth of their bond, where each knows exactly when to be the other's strength. Their decision to enlist together also reflects immense trust and respect. Not many choose to take on such a challenging experience side by side, unless the bond is truly deep. Even Namjoon, BTS's leader, once said that Jimin and Jungkook were lucky to have each other during the process. These stories reveal a new dimension to their relationship. More than just groupmates, They are two friends who know when to speak and when to simply be there. They understand that support doesn't always come in big gestures. Often, it's found in simple words, in comfortable silence, or in a constant presence. During their service, they were placed in the artillery unit, known for its harsh conditions, especially in winter. Jimin didn't hide the truth. At first, he was even afraid to approach other soldiers. The environment was unfamiliar, harsh, and made everything feel heavy. During the summer, the intense heat and relentless bugs became their own challenge. They couldn't shower for days and had to mix foods just to be able to eat. But in all those hardships, something within them changed. Jimin admitted to feeling transformed even during training, feeling stronger, even proud of himself. "Even during training, I looked pretty cool," he said with a smile. A simple confession, yet full of meaning. Jungkook, with his calm and wisdom, said something that reflected his maturity. "If you take it lightly, you'll feel guilty." For him, facing challenges wholeheartedly is a form of responsibility, not just to the task, but to himself and those around him. Throughout that time, though rarely spoken aloud, it was clear that their presence for each other was a source of strength. They shared the same routines, faced the same pressures, and saw each other continue to try. When many might have felt alone, they had each other, and that made all the difference. Now that they've returned, they don't just bring stories of training and discipline, but of growth, understanding, and deep love. Jimin and Jungkook don't romanticize their time in the military, but they faced everything with courage and commitment. Through all this, we learn one thing. Their relationship isn't just part of the job. It's something built on respect, sincerity, and unwavering loyalty. And for anyone who's ever doubted the power of true friendship, their story is proof that it really exists. And as the live broadcast neared its end, there was a deeply meaningful silence. Jimin looked at the screen, eyes slightly glassy, then softly said, "We don't know what else to say, but we're here. With you." Jungkook turned, gently touched Jimin's arm, a small gesture that conveyed unspoken comfort and understanding. Army around the world fell silent, drawn into the warmth radiating from two people who returned not just as idols, but as humans who've gone through a profound journey and come out stronger and more genuine. After they said goodbye and the screen faded to black, nothing truly ended. For Army, this wasn't the end of a live, it was the beginning of a new chapter, one that's more mature, more honest, and even closer. And amid all the screen light and lingering words, one thing was crystal clear. Their love and connection are a home we can always return to, anytime, anywhere. In that meaningful silence, Jimin said, "We're here. With you." And Jungkook? He didn't need to say anything. One small touch was enough to say it all. Today, they didn't just come back as idols, but as two souls who have grown, strengthened, and still hold onto each other through every step. To those who missed them, to those who believe in a bond that words can't explain, this moment belongs to all of us. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video if you also felt the warmth of the love they shared today. And as always, we'll continue to be with you in every extraordinary second of Jikook. See you in the next video. Stay close, stay connected, because this is Jikook Moments.